Hi everyone, my name is Celine and welcome to our fourth session in our webinar series on Super Dads, Super Kids. If you missed our first three sessions, no worries, you can always go back after this session and watch them if you'd like, but each session is designed to stand on its own. The whole series of Super Dads, Super Kids was developed by Dad Central and is focused on responsible fathers. Men who make a conscious choice to be the solid role model kids are longing for and need today. And today's discussion is on emotions and emotional health. Now, super dads are role models in their child's emotional development. Kids learn about their own emotions through a super dad who is aware of and is in control of his own emotions. A super dad also acknowledges his children's emotions and teaches them to express them well. Now, we all have bad days and good days. It's a normal part of being an adult to experience joy, sadness, anger, and other emotions. And our children go through these same up and downs. Emotions are a normal part of their lives too. A funny look from a friend, a heated argument with their teacher, a good joke with their sister, or a quiet moment with their dad. All of these can happen in a day, and all of them can stir up different emotions in them. As children grow, it's key for them to learn to regulate their emotions. This means identifying and acting upon the emotion appropriately. A child who regulates their emotions well is less likely to go through anxiety and depression as they grow up. So I'd like to start with an activity. Over the next few slides, I'm going to show you pictures of different children expressing emotion. I want you to name the emotions you think the child may be showing. Okay, so here's the first one. What emotions would you say the child is showing? Some of the emotions I came up with were surprised, shocked, confused, in disbelief, maybe even scared. Now, what about this child? What emotions would you say this child is showing? Well, he could be angry, upset, scared, mad, furious, or even very sad. All right, and here's the last one. How about this child? What emotions would you say she is showing? Well, she could be expressing joy, contentment, happiness, silliness, love, or excitement. So I want you to notice that there can be different emotions for each picture. This means that we need to know our individual child and how they express their emotions. When your child is expressing emotions, what are some of the ways you respond to their emotion? I'll give you some ideas. Some may respond to their child's emotion with discipline or punishment. One could respond by ignoring the emotion or by listening to it. It can be easy to respond to anger with anger or fear by shaming. One could even respond to the emotion of being shy with telling their child to grow up. The point is that there are many ways we can respond to our child's emotions. Some are helpful while others are not. Over the next few slides, I'm going to be sharing some tips on understanding your child's emotions and how to respond to them in a helpful way. The first tip is to pay attention to your child. It's hard to help what we don't know much about. It's difficult to help our child if we really don't know them too well. Attention shows the child that they're important and valued. It encourages the child to communicate with you more, and attention allows you to learn about your child. The next tip is to acknowledge your child's emotions. Young children are unable to separate their emotion from how they view themselves. They are their emotion. This is why the behavior that accompanies emotions is so often extreme. When their emotion is validated, even if it's too extreme or even wrong, the child is validated and affirmed. Dad's role is to guide in the healthy expression of the emotion and to teach the right emotion for the moment. Dad should also be aware that their own emotions might get in the way of helping their child with emotions. Most people aren't as effective when angry, sad, or embarrassed. At least I know that's the case for me. But when children are experiencing extreme emotions, such as a temper tantrum, Dad should help them self-regulate by monitoring their own emotions and keeping them in check. Another tip is to name and label the emotion for them. This helps children learn about their feelings and helps them learn to identify their feelings. Naming the emotions help them tell the difference between anger and sadness, or between happy and excited. This strategy also helps them learn to communicate their emotions better. The fourth tip is to redirect the emotion if necessary. So for example, you could say, I see you're really excited about being at Grandma's house. Why don't you go give her a big hug? Or, you must be really angry that Teddy broke your tower. You need to tell him you are angry instead of throwing the blocks back at him. And the final tip I have for you today is that we need to show emotion appropriately ourselves. It gives something for a child to model. Now, before I close, I have an activity that I would like to encourage you to do. It's called The Emotions I See in My Child. I'd like you to take a moment to reflect on different emotions you've seen in your child, possible reasons for the emotion, how you responded to it, and how you'd like to respond next time. So at this point in the webinar, you can pause and write down your thoughts. And when you're done, you can press play and resume. So how'd that activity go for you? Children often communicate to us through emotions. And when we pay attention to the emotions our children show, it gives us valuable insight on what they may be trying to tell us. Finally, my hope for you today is that you have gained valuable insight on understanding your child's emotions and how to respond to them in a helpful way. Thank you all so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions or would like more information, please email me at earlyon.admin@niagara.ymca.ca. I hope to see you in our next session on discipline and setting limits. Bye for now.